You're listening to the Game Tenants Podcast.
What's up, and welcome to the Game Tenants Podcast, the failed adventures of two gamers and their quest for Gamecast stardom.
AKA worthlessly lazy, but so game crazy.
This is episode 99, and I'm Church of the Game Grinder, and as always, joined by my excellent co-host, Jason of Corpse Flood Gaming.
What's up, everybody?
How is everybody doing in these extended, goofy times?
Yeah, man, we're really dragging out that road to 100.
Yes. Yes.
Making you wait for it.
You know, life happens. Summer, you just got to do stuff, and sometimes...
I've been obsessively doing stuff. I don't know how I'm getting these games beat lately, but I'm somehow working in the game time with also effectively getting things done. I don't know. Projects
you've been... should have been done years ago, sort of things?
Well, that I've been waiting to do for years. You know, about my garage. It's been just kind of a big storage shed forever. I'm finally in there. I'm in there right now.
What?
New podcast location.
What?
I can scream and I can shout and not worry about waking people up.
It's like the ultimate cave is what's going on.
Yeah, it's basically like a cooler version of the foot hangout from Ninja Turtles 1, the movie.
Skate ramps and stuff?
Yeah.
Cigarette machine?
Yeah, you want regular or menthol? I got that shit.
Nice.
But yeah, it's going great. It's like a big slide puzzle at first. You know, like, oh, I want to do this. But, you know, these things are in the way. I don't know. I'm down to the little nitpicky details now, so I'd say it's pretty much all set up. I got all the shit I don't want in here, out of here. It's great.
Awesome.
It's great. Renewed my energy, renewed my focus. I think I can get back to doing some video stuff because I can record late at night. I've been out here way too late every night. Keep on going. Oh, I'll be earlier tonight. But consistently around 4 a.m., go back into the house.
Unless I've got 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah, unless I've got to be up at like 5, then I've been kind of calling it pretty early, like midnight, 1. But yeah, it's been good.
Excellent. Well, what are we going to be talking about?
Oh,
what are we going to be talking about?
Well, we a little late to the party, just like with the. Well, I mean, it's only fair. We're late to the party with the PS5 reveal and stuff, and their game showcase. So we thought we'd be a little bit late with the Xbox showcase.
Nice.
So we're going to be talking about a little bit of that. We'll touch on that. We're not going to go in depth because I'm sure everyone's been over that. But we got some cool new games in the works. Cool addition to a game that's not even out yet. It's cool for some people. Might not be so cool for others. Some people might be pissed off.
Maybe.
A couple other little things. Lots to catch up on, though. So let's get right into it.
Yeah. So start off with our retro game highlight then.
Hell yeah.
Last time, you were pretty hyped about Onimusha.
Fucking yeah. Still am. Yeah!
Yeah. It's been bumped up on my backlog, but it's still backlogged. But it's up there now.
So I should have done the jump splits instead of the jump kick just now when I yahed. But yeah. Check it the fuck out now.
Yeah, so this time I thought, I don't give much love to fighting games. I don't really play fighting games much, so I wanted to highlight one of my favorite fighting games of back in the day, and that is Fatal Fury 2. Primarily the Super Nintendo version, but the Genesis version is also acceptable.
All right then.
Classic Fatal Fury. To be honest, I have one main draw that brought me into the games, and there.
What's that?
I was gonna try to spin that into like, or maybe two things, but my Shiranui is like one of it was like my one of my classic like video game crushes. My Shiranui is awesome. But yeah, it got me into Fatal Fury. Turned out to be a pretty sweet game. Turns out, hey, there are some anime adaptations at the same time. And then I found out about this entire other series, King of Fighters. And it's been a long-going series, even though I don't really play a whole lot of them. But do definitely enjoy Fatal Fury. It's kind of like a slightly different take on Street Fighter. You know, Street Fighter had all the super moves. Like, this has super moves, but they're like way more toned down. Right, and then you got the two lanes, the back and forward, so you could like jump into the background and fight, or jump in.
Well, it's like SNK's biggest fighting series, I'd say that, and I guess King of Fighters is a big one too. That's something
mainly King of Fighters.
Yeah, I guess, but the two of those. But yeah,
a whole bunch of those games. Limited Run's done a bunch of re-releases for them.
Oh yeah, there's way more than those in Fatal Fury, that's for sure.
There's a new one that just got announced or something. Gaoru, Mark of the Wolves, or something. It's getting it's not a new one, but it's getting a limited run release or something, or a port.
Sure is.
Something, and I was like, I checked out the roster. I was like, no buy.
That's where it's to go by.
No buy.
That's funny that you mentioned the anime. Is because like I mentioned, been hanging in the garage, and what does everyone keep in the garage? The VHS tapes, right?
Yeah.
So
sure, why not?
I've been pouring through some of my old VHS collection. I got all my horror movies that I haven't updated. I think some of them I don't know. It's just the charm of the VHS that gives B movies just that extra little bit.
Sure.
But, I was watching the Darkstalkers anime, and they advertised the Fatal Fury one on there.
They're not
like, sweet.
They're not great, but I really enjoy late 80s, early 90s anime. The aesthetics, the animation, like that was when we were getting like really like high quality fluid animation before they kind of like switched over to it's a lot of it's like digital
CG, CG anime almost.
Well, it's not CG, but it's
like
it's not hand drawn anymore. It's all done digitally. I don't know, it just looks different.
Yeah,
just looks different.
Lost its charm.
But anyways, Fatal Fury 2 I think is a lot of fun. I used to play the heck out of it, rented it many times.
Did you ever buy it?
I do have copies of Fatal Fury.
Nice.
Now, of course.
Sweet.
Got to. And I got a My Shiranui statue.
There you go.
Yeah, so definitely recommend checking out that series for anybody who hasn't. Good fighting games.
Excellent. Yeah, SNK all over. They got their own style.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a reason why they got the legacy that they got, because they make great fighting games.
Absolutely.
So we got a little catching up to do, as you said.
Well, yeah, just a bit.
Couple weeks.
We've been dropping the ball on our. We were pretty good for a while for being pretty trustworthy of getting our bi-weekly podcast out. Now it's like a tri-weekly, maybe.
Yeah.
Quad-weekly.
Summer gets kind of weird for me for various reasons, but it is what it is. But we had the big Xbox Series X games showcase, which was the equivalent sort of the PlayStation 5.
I won't say equivalent, but it was their version.
That's true.
coming from an Xbox guy. That's coming from. I like my Xbox, but
Yeah, it was overall. I think it was kind of lackluster.
I've never been so hyped by a console reveal as I was by the PS5. I gotta say, I was just right away like, "Am I getting this the day it comes out?" Because I've never done that before.
Yeah, and
even if I got the money for it, I'm just like, "Oh, what am I gonna do? Play one game and then wait a year?" You know, like it seems like, especially with how slow PS4 started last gen, where it's just like
yeah,
the launch titles and then remasters for almost a year and a half, and then finally the game started coming out more fast and furious without The Rock and Vin Diesel.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was now they definitely caught up. It was the other way around for the Xbox. They started pretty strong and then kind of like we're like, oh, that's all we got.
Yeah,
out of Steam. Besides the multi-platform games, but yeah, I'm there's still some stuff to be excited about here.
Yeah, for sure.
Also some stuff to make memes about too, but
yeah, a lot of the trailers were just like either a lot of them didn't like really give you a great idea about the game.
What kind of game is this?
Like, yeah,
more like an indie showcase. Actually,
it was like makes you like, ooh, kind of like, ooh, I'm curious about this. But comparison to like PlayStation's event where it's like
they're all over the map,
getting you all excited, like, whoa.
There was more like AAA.
This is like
games, and this one felt more like Halo, Fable, and then indie showcase. Kind of felt like to me, even though I'm not saying indie games are shit. That's where all the creative games are these days.
Yeah, I love it.
But none of all these felt like they had were a console seller. I would say nothing like, holy shit, I got to upgrade. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, especially the fact that if you got a PC, you don't really need to get an Xbox.
Well, they're making their money either way. If you get it on PC, then
whatever.
They don't really care. It's not like it's custom. Oh no, you're gonna play it on the Microsoft platform. You gotta play it on Windows.
Yeah, and
people look at it like that, like they're like sticking it to Microsoft by buying it on PC. And you're like, you realize they still get that money, right?
Right. No, and I think that's great because they will be releasing games that I absolutely will buy like day one on whatever I forget what it's called, games for PC or whatever.
Games for Windows Live.
It used to be Windows Live. I think it's just called Games for Windows now or something.
Shows how much I pay attention to that shit.
Same. I haven't. There's no games that I actually like. Oh, I need to play right now, so I haven't really looked into it. But
I just get them on Xbox. I meant, so I'm just like
Hellblade 2, day one. Better believe it. And some of these games actually looked pretty sweet too. So we could just kind of like run down the list.
Like Halo.
I mean, of course, Halo
returning to its roots with graphics and everything. So it's good.
I do feel bad for them about that. Like, what? But what are they doing? Like, why are you showing that? What? I don't know Halo, so I don't know what those guys are.
I don't know if that was a brute or what. I don't know. I'm 2 games behind on Halo.
But
I've been keeping up with Halo Wars, but
that's like Halo.
We've talked about it before. I haven't played Halo 4 or 5.
It's like Halo 2 graphics right there on that.
Yes,
Monkey Man.
That's what I meant about
Monkey Man.
That's what I meant about I think it's a brute. I don't know what it is.
I mean, everything else looked great, but it's like that was just really
that one part was pretty standout. Maybe he's like a rock sculpture thing, like some kind of fantasy game. I don't know.
I'm sure the game will be sweet.
Yeah, what'd you think of like other games?
As Dusk Falls, I know you were a little annoyed by the art style or the.
I wasn't just pick this out, but like I mentioned it because I noticed it again in this. I'm really over the motion comic storytelling of like a lot of like these more indie games.
Yeah,
I do, but it doesn't bug me as much when it's indie studios, which this is. But I feel like I called it out. Yeah, this looks beautiful, but I'm like, when you're putting that much working and making things look beautiful, like put that little bit extra adding.
We're talking about
animate that shit.
As Dusk Falls.
Yeah, As Dusk Falls. It looked pretty cool. Like the story looked, this is one of the ones that actually showed a little bit of like what the story might be like. So I appreciate that. But I'm like, oh, I'm really over the motion comic storytelling. Like I wanted to see cutscenes, especially when you're trying to show off a next gen console. Like I want to see animation. Not like I could just read this in a magazine and it'd be the same thing.
Yeah.
I'd just be using my own voices.
True.
So I don't know. It's charming in some games, like when something's like comic book related. I'm like, oh, I totally get that. That's a good thing. But like, it seems overused these days. Like at first, I thought it was cool, but then again, that was in comic book related games. So
no,
that's just a small nitpick. But I feel like I had to explain it. Like I'm not pissed off at this game, but I'm like, man, that looks beautiful.
Yeah.
If it was moving, it would look even better, rather than just looking like a paper art or whatever you call that.
Mm-hmm. Well, but then speaking of games that don't show you anything about what it's about, but looks really cool graphically, Avowed.
Yeah, Obsidian's next game.
Yeah, Obsidian, good old New Vegas.
New Vegas, the Outer Worlds.
Like man, they're busy.
Well, they're under the Microsoft umbrella now, so it's kind of cool for them to have a developer that might get them some games made, some worthwhile games.
They got a couple games announced. There was that and
add-on too for the Outer Worlds, which I mean, I'm all over that right away. Anyway, I know they have I think two planned or three. I'm pretty sure it's two though, and I'll probably wait for both of them to be out honestly because I like to make add-ons. I like to make them feel more organic to the game, but I've also already done everything in the game.
Yeah.
So that sucks a little bit, but I love that game, so I cannot wait to get back into it.
Yeah, I still need to play it.
You do.
I will say Avowed, it's pretty neat. The impression is that it's going to be a first-person like action adventure RPG or something, but it takes place in the Pillars of Eternity world. So that's pretty cool.
I haven't jumped into the second one yet. I even tried it out. I didn't beat the first one.
I still need to play the first one.
Yeah. You got a copy.
I know. I need to play it because I've heard by many people it's one of the best CRPGs.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I played a couple hours of it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then speaking of another game where it doesn't really show what it's about, you just know what it is. They basically flashed a logo at you, but Fable's back.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I'm still mad at Fable, honestly.
I never played any of the Fable games. I
love the Fable games.
I heard good things about
Fable. Yeah.
The first couple, right?
They're excellent. Well, I mean, there's only really 4 of them besides the little like I don't know, there's a pub games one and a friggin' little like party game one or some crap. And then there's the Connect game, which I haven't played, but I've played 1, 2, and 3 extensively. And to the point where I was intending to get all the achievements in Fable 3, but I think I've told the story before where I went and I was like, oh, I'm going to break up, instead of just going and getting all these collectibles and crap to end off the game, I'm going to check out that new add-on. And then I went to start the add-on and I was trapped on the island where the add-on takes place and nothing would start. No quests would start. And I was just stuck there. So I was like, cool. Well, they'll patch it. No, they never patched it. So if I ever want to complete that game, I've got to, I got to start from scratch. Yeah, so that really sucks. But I beat the main game. But yeah, that was like it was basically I paid them $10 to wreck my game. So thanks, guys.
Nice.
Peter Molyneux himself broke my game, I think.
Mm-hmm. Stalker 2 got announced. That I actually never played the first Stalker game, but due to a couple communities that I have hung around for online for years, like huge PC community for Stalker, a lot of modding.
Yeah, it's always looked cool, but me with PC games. So.
Yeah.
I'm glad we'll get to check it out. Maybe
I've been hearing things about Stalker 2 for years. I think I will. Right now, I definitely have interest in Stalker 2. That it's likely a game that I will get because I missed out on the first one. It sounded like a really neat experience. Who knows now, though, because it was kind of an indie thing before, where now we're under umbrella of Microsoft and corporate teams and focus groups and whatnot. But it looks awesome if they keep up the kind of the open worldness of the first one. I think this could be a pretty sweet game.
Yeah, I've been aware of Stalker in the past, but now it's on my radar as a game I might get to play eventually. Whenever it is that they get a killer app that makes me not be able to hold back from getting a Series X.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see one in here, but I'm sure eventually I'll get it because you know me, I'm ridiculous.
Right.
They also announced State of Decay 3.
Yeah.
I've
never played those games, and I've always heard they're really cool, and I love
the first one. The first one was really cool. I bought it like right when it came out on the 360, and then they put out the updated version on the one, and I never played the updated version. The second one came out, I want to say like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I've never actually even seen a copy of it in the store besides like when it first came out. Like our Walmart got like 2 copies of it, and then that's like the last I saw of it. I've never seen it again. So I'm not saying it's a rare game, but
yeah,
I also didn't hear very much good about it, so that's probably why I didn't see very many copies. I heard it was a kind of a meh game, so well, maybe they'll fix that in the third one. Must have made enough money to warrant a third one, so must be doing something right.
I wanted to shout out Phantasy Star Online 2, New Genesis, which a lot of people were really excited that Phantasy Star Online 2 came to PC earlier this year. A lot of people wanted that game for a long time, and then hey, here we go. We got basically a HD remaster of an MMO. I probably won't play it because
it's out on Xbox One right now. The regular Phantasy Star 2 Online.
I know it was on Xbox.
Yep.
Awesome.
It came out just last fall, I think, or maybe earlier this spring. So I played a little bit of the original one on the 360, but I did all the offline stuff. I didn't get too far in it, but yeah. Speaking of other cool franchises, we got Warhammer 40K, the Dark Tide.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of these games, and I dabble in them, and they're cool, but I always end up going, man, that looks cool, and then I grab it, and then I just never end up playing it. So maybe I have to add one of those to my backlog roulette list, because
for the most part, like the Warhammer games, like if you're not playing the strategy games, kind of like doing it. And most of them are the strategy games, and that's definitely its strong suit because it's.
Yeah, I played a couple of them that are.
But is this going to be a first-person shooter or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like a shooter. Yeah.
Again, it's just another like CGI trailer or cinematic.
It's supposed to be a co-op game of some sort. It looks cool. Speaking of co-op, you can get Tetris Effect too. Now it's connected, so you can play with multiplayer. So
that's interesting.
All right, neat. But I got it on VR, and that's the way I'm going to keep it.
Yeah. Faux show. Army Guys, the game.
Crossfire?
You psyched for Army Guys, the game?
Oh, I'm always psyched for Army Guys, the game, and their hoorah and their whatever else.
I don't mean to hate it. It's like whatever. People like their military shooters. That's fine.
Well, apparently, this was like the biggest, most played game worldwide at a point. I don't know if this was on PC, but I don't remember even hearing that much about it.
I don't know.
Is anyone fact checking this? Because I don't remember hearing about a bunch of people being like, "Oh, bro, Crossfire, let's get this."
I'm pretty sure for PC it was like.
Was it like the day before Modern Warfare?
Like
Call of Duty 4 came out.
I don't even know if Call of Duty had more numbers than Counter-Strike for shooters, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They got the campaign is being made by Remedy Entertainment that made Control.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, it's like I do really like what Remedy does, but I don't know. It seems like
Maybe they're gonna have to remedy your Crossfire situation. You'll have to check it out now.
yeah, right.
Ooh, Destiny 2. Let's keep going.
Everwild might be cool if you knew what it was.
So let's keep going. Stop talking about Destiny 2.
Everwild.
Everwild looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool, but like, what is it? Like,
it's got the vibe I got from it. It kind of reminded me of like, the extra cel shaded art style. At first, it kind of reminded me of Ori and the Blind Forest and stuff like that, but then it showed more, and I was like, oh, kind of looks like sort of a Breath of the Wildy type animation.
We don't know. It could be a tower defense game. They didn't show us like anything that even resembled the gameplay.
Yeah, all these games were just cinematic trailers. That's what the big problem that I had with this is like, oh, that looks cool, and then right when you start to be like interested, they're like, next game.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay. And they showed Grounded, which is out already. A co-op survival game.
Yeah, sounds
cool. Looks like Honey I Shrunk the Kids, the game.
Yeah, Polykill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so looks fine. I might check it out at some point. It's on Game Pass, I believe. So maybe I'll redeem one of my Game Pass things and check it out again one of these days. Yeah. The Medium was one of the games that I think interested me the most.
Yeah,
when I saw it,
I'm sold. Like, I'll definitely check this one out. Kind of like Silent Hill-ish.
Yeah, like some sort of weird mystery solving game. Yeah,
swap between
into it.
Different like realities or something.
Yeah, we saw a bit more of Psychonauts 2, which is always good. Like, just give me it already.
Yeah, sure.
Sold on that for a while. I've had my shirt since last year even. Just give me that damn game. But yeah, hopefully soon. Hopefully it doesn't get pushed back to where it's only on the Series X, or I'll be mighty pissed.
Yeah.
And then next we got the Backstreet Boys game. Tell me why. Is it cool?
Why haven't I made that connection?
Because you're in BSB enough, bro.
No, that's all I'm gonna think about every time I see the name of this game.
You can't even pronounce it without going, tell me why.
Yeah, it's new Don't Not game. Same people who made Life is Strange. I still really need to play those games. Like, I came really close to playing Life is Strange.
The first one now, and then there's also that Captain, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Captain something.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got the first one and the prequel. I haven't picked up the second one yet, but
I really need to play Life is Strange. Like, I've gotten really close over the last couple of years.
And every time I get close to one of those, I'm in the mood. I end up being like, ooh, a Telltale game. And I'm playing a Telltale game instead. Like Telltale Batman, I think, was like the last time I almost touched, and I was like, Batman wins, because Batman always wins. So yeah, it's cool. It's like about a couple of twins that share some kind of weird bond where they, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Just like those guys from. It's not like the guys from G.I. Joe. It's actually nothing like the guys from G.I. Joe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Those two brothers with the hoods, the one that got the scar on his face. I can't remember their names.
Are you talking about Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow?
No.
That's the only characters I even remember. I'm not a big G.I. Joe guy. I was Transformers all the way. What's that?
Tomax and Zamat.
Yeah. I mean, the most G.I. Joe I watched, I don't really remember it being on when I was a kid. It must have been on the same time as another show I watched.
Oh, man,
or something, because the most G.I. Joe I watched was like later on.
You watched the
of course I did, man.
You're
gonna say pork chop sandwiches? Because I watched all them.
Well, that's the classic G.I. Joe. But I was thinking, there was a later series that was on in the 90s where they're all like,
where they're super jacked.
yeah, they're all steroid injected. What the fuck was that called?
Yeah, man, G.I. Joe Extreme or something, wasn't it?
G.I. Joe Extreme. Was that what it is?
I think so. I remember this kid I used to babysit had a bunch of the fucking figures for it, and I don't know what this one was supposed to be doing, but he had a fist, and I was like, is this supposed to be a punching? Because you couldn't move his arm to where you push the button on his back and it looks like punching. We just called him Pumpin' Pete because all it did was look like he was jacking off. I was like, there's no way this guy is supposed to pump. Like, there's no motion that he's doing that's not jacking off.
God.
So we called it. I'm like, who's this guy? Pumpin' Pete? And he's like, yeah. And so it just became forever. Hey, Pumpin' Pete.
I haven't
Push
thought
the button and jack off a bit.
I haven't thought of that about this show in many, many years, and now it's just like a flood of.
Wow, it was around the time everything was extreme or had some kind of X in it because it was super cool.
95.
Yeah, that's when Extreme Ghostbusters even came out around that area.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which I did watch, and it just reminded me of the Men in Black cartoon. But looking back on it, I actually like it a lot more than I did when I was probably too old for it. Too old, quotation marks, when came out. I was kind of like out of that kind of stuff for a bit. You know, when you get back into stuff like Ghostbusters and shit, I was just kind of like, like not much. And the new cartoons when they put out, like I didn't watch any of the, new Ninja Turtles and stuff around that area either. Like I was like, oh, not what. I'm like, I'm gonna check it out because I loved Ghostbusters, but I was just like, man, that's not. I like quickly dismissed it, but
yeah,
going back, it's pretty cool.
Started trailing off because that's basically when I finally started having my own funds. So I was buying like video games, and that was how I was spending my time instead of, oh, I'm bored with all my games. What's on TV when I'm not hanging out with my friends like today after school?
Yeah, now I'm back into like not wanting to do anything with anyone and just wanting to watch Ghostbusters. So now I respect it. It's like, I'm gonna buy these action figures. I'm gonna do this shit, and I'm like, why didn't I buy those action figures back in the day?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a.
So yeah, anything else from Xbox that you wanted to mention?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean,
Bull Wonderworld looked kind of cool. It kind of reminded me of Mario Odyssey a little bit. We got to be excited about Dragon Quest 11S because of Lucifage's Definitive Edition.
I got so many mixed feelings about that.
But I just love how they would rather sell you a different game rather than like let you like even pay for a little upgrade to the regular version. Yeah. I mean, this is the first time Xbox is getting it, but PS4, if you want it, you gotta buy the whole game again.
You gotta buy the whole game again.
They Street Fightered you.
Yeah, they sure fucking did, and I'm
super stoked on that.
And you have to buy the whole new game again, so you get an orchestrated soundtrack, and you can do the like retro mode, but nothing else. You don't get anything else. Like that's all it is.
Yeah, I've already bought it on the Switch for that, so I don't care. Because I was already thinking I'd be buying at least PS4 and the 3DS. Basically, what that is the 3DS game that they canceled integrated into the game.
Yes.
So.
Like it's not.
That's what you basically. That's why I bought it because I was like, oh, that retro mode looks cool.
Like it's not, though. From what I hear, it's like all right.
It's fine, and it's got like a better soundtrack.
Yeah, the orchestrated soundtrack.
So yeah, it's about all you're really getting. What could they charge you, like $15 for that or something?
Yeah, I gotta imagine it's gonna be full price too.
Oh yeah, that's $40. $40 is what it is.
Okay. That's not terrible, but I'll definitely wait for that to get discounted and I'll pick it up.
Angrily still.
Yeah. God, these bastards.
All right, well, that's about all I got to note. There's a couple other things that who gives a shit about. So,
well,
they're optimizing some games, and
you got the Xbox stuff.
Yeah,
like, that's kind of exciting. You know what makes me really fucking excited? Spiritual successors.
Yeah, and everyone loves that term too. Everyone's just on the edge of their seat now hearing that shit. They're like, ooh.
A thing I love that they didn't get the license to, but they're basically making again. Yes.
Yeah, finally.
Hell yeah.
Finally, we got to use it under a assumed name.
So many people for years and years have been asking for the next Suikoden game.
You know what's funny though is though made that video a couple of years ago about series I've not played, but I'm what I'm going to do about it. And I was like, this was one of them. I'm stoked on this game coming out, even though I haven't really gotten to play the entire series that I own.
Yeah. Well, I still don't have two. Two's been my hang up. Like, I just haven't dropped the money to get it.
Well,
I played one. I played one back in the day.
yeah.
I just never played two, but I got 3, 4, and 5. I definitely want to play 2. Like, when I get a copy of 2, I will play it almost immediately.
Cool.
But so got a game called Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, which is made by some of the folks that made
most of the original creators, I believe, like the important ones by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
So,
And this is basically exactly as a spiritual successor would be. It's very much in the style from what we've seen.
Yeah, so think of a cooler, Mighty Number 9 or Bloodstained. Not cooler than Bloodstained, but Bloodstained was awesome. But it's in Kickstarter right now.
Yeah.
Is what I meant.
And they are crushing it. Initial goal was it 500,000?
Yeah.
Was their initial goal for the game?
Yeah, and last I checked, it was like 2.6 million or something, and their end goal was I think 2.95 million or something, or 7.5. And so they've hit. I'm pretty sure they've hit all their stretch goals now. So I think it took something like
they got 3 stretch
5 hours to reach their original goal, and there's a whole bunch of features being added now. So
yeah.
Fortress Town mode, cooking, fishing, and battle minigames. Console releases are officially a thing now. New Game Plus, Chinese and Korean localization, new sound effects,
new character,
a full orchestral score, and 4 new characters. I believe 5 was the last stretch goal was the 5th one, so that's cool. And there's like a party banter they wanted to add in is one of them,
which I think is great.
And economy of scale. I don't know what the hell that is.
That's a training mini game. That's one of their next stretch goals.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love when the stretch goals are reached, especially when you just when it's something that you pledge for the Kickstarter and then like the stretch goals keep getting hit, so you like keep getting bonuses and you're like, just glad to be part of it.
Yeah. Well, and at the same time,
that's what happened with that Spawn figure that I kickstarted.
They're doing one of my
favorite months ago
with this Kickstarter.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things.
What's that?
Physical version.
Yeah, that's what I'm all over too.
Hell yeah. So definitely on that. I'm gonna get the soundtrack as well.
Sweet.
Because why not? RPGs always have good soundtracks.
Yeah, how much was that goal? Was that
this is
$80? The $80 one?
95, I think.
Okay.
It's a little up
there. Bit, but yeah.
I
haven't thrown my money at it yet. I want to, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Got a lot of shit coming up.
But it looks pretty sweet. I'm liking the graphical fidelity. I'm not, like I said, I'm less familiar with the PlayStation 2 Suikoden games, but it's like a mixed style. You got very animated, like hand-drawn looking characters, and then like the enemies and the scenery, it looks more like 3D rendered. Yeah,
it's a good mix. I mean, I'm familiar enough with them. That's why I'm like hyped about it continuing. Well, not continuing, but you know what I mean? Spiritually continuing, I guess. But yeah, I really got to get to those goddamn games.
Yeah.
I've got them all. I've got the tactics game. I got the DS game. I think the DS game was the last one I needed to get. The first one I got was 2.
Yeah, I think the handheld ones are not super great. But... And I think 5 was...
There's only the one super handheld one, I believe. The DS one.
Isn't...
Tactics is PS2.
Oh, okay. I thought that was PSP. Or something. Anyway, yeah, so that's
Yeah.
pretty. So definitely check it out.
So sometimes when you're like, why the hell aren't they making a new one? Maybe it's something behind the scenes. The people that make it want to make it so bad that they got to go on Kickstarter, break off from the team, and do it themselves because publishers are dicks.
Well, that's
Why doesn't the Dead Space team do this shit already?
yeah. I was gonna say two of our Konami classics have branched. Well, three really.
Yeah.
Got Death Stranding, even though that was not Kickstartered, but this and Bloodstained. Now we need our silent. Well, I mean,
So well, Kojima's working on a new horror game, so hopefully,
Guillermo del Toro, from my understanding.
I mean, he wasn't like the Silent Hill guy to begin with, so
yeah,
I just want to see someone make a goddamn Silent Hill game.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be under some other name, maybe.
Yeah,
You kind of say the Medium was kind of looking like it, but it's not the team.
Yeah, I want the
Silent.
I realized there was actually one I don't have. I thought I had all of them, and I realized there's one on the Vita that I don't have. So now I'm gonna have to get a freaking third Vita game. Damn it!
God dang it! Dang that Vita.
So I'm sure it's pricey as fuck. So that'll be something I'll keep an eye out at stores for, most likely. Yeah, stoked. You know what else I'm stoked about?
What's that?
Spider-Man.
Well, you got.
I love Spider-Man.
Some Spider-Man news.
Yeah. I don't know. I just felt like Dave Chappelle there for a second. Love lesbians. Yeah. But but yeah, Spider-Man's announced to be coming to the new Avengers game that's out this fall.
Is that for everybody?
No.
What?
But I checked Amazon and I pre-ordered in the right camp. It'll be out on the PS4 and PS5 versions.
Not.
I guess Xbox just isn't allowed to like Spider-Man anymore. If you like Xbox, you don't like Spider-Man.
What about Switch?
No.
What?
No, nobody likes Switch anyway, so it's not a big loss. That's like being like, oh, is there no Game Boy Advance?
I'm gonna get really angry about this.
I don't know. I would be, but
I'm not.
That's why I buy all the systems. I mean, that's really big exclusive to.
I guess.
Like this is such a big thing to me. Like they also are putting out Hawkeye post-release as a free update, but who gives a shit about Hawkeye? And Spider-Man's coming early next year. And like I said, I got this pre-ordered, but I actually might not start playing it until Spider-Man comes out. That's how big of a deal Spider-Man is. That I'm like, I'm gonna get it day one because I want that pre-order shit.
There's a.
But yeah,
makes me think of it's kind of like a meme to a certain online community when there's discussions about people that are upset or whatever about console exclusivity stuff, and then a typical canned response people receive is, well, stop being poor. That's basically what you just said. Like, oh, stop being poor.
I'm not saying that per se, but when I was poor, I still had. But you just got to prioritize video games. Is what I'm saying. When I was poor, I still had a PS3 and an Xbox 360. I just wasn't able to buy the games as plentiful. I'm not saying I'm not.
It's called
rich. I'm not rich now, but I'm just saying. Rich. Just own all the consoles, and you don't need to do any complaining. Except for, oh shit, I don't have any money because I buy all these games.
I don't know if you got that up in Canada, but hood rich. You're living in the hood, but you got all the good stuff. I mean, I didn't live in the hood, but.
Wow. Or you're talking about like the people that are welfare and they got the newest iPhones and shit. They got their Jordans, they got their expensive shit that people who work their ass off don't have.
Like, so that's what I always call it growing up, because that's how we're kind of who we were. Like we didn't have things. Like sometimes we might not have like electricity for a few days, but at least I didn't have a lot of stuff, so I can't really.
You like had the whole NES library, but we didn't have power to play it, so I brought it over to the neighbors.
It was super. I only got like 2 new NES games. I think the entire time I had the NES. Everything else was used for like dirt cheap.
Well, it's basically the reason I've had a job since I was in grade 3. We weren't really poor growing up, and my parents refused to get me video games, so that was on me. So it's been, they didn't do it on purpose, but it's been imbued in me that if I want games, I have to have jobs.
Insert.
So it's been the whole reason I've always had a job. It's just, I always gotta, if I want these games, I better get a job.
Yeah. But
So,
apparently there are people.
I want all the games, so that's why I got 2 jobs.
Sure.
Because I also gotta, I gotta keep the lights on and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
apparently people are upset about Spider-Man being PS4 or PS exclusive.
Even though it doesn't affect me, I'm gonna say, yeah, that's bullshit. that's a huge character. It's a huge character. That'd be like something like I said, Hawkeye. No one would. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. I get it because I have PS4, but or like Falcon or something. Be like, Spider-Man? Come on. That's like getting an X-Men game and then being like, yeah, Wolverine is on the PS4 version. You're like, well, why even make the other one? Mm-hmm. I could see like if it was like a timed exclusive, even like Spider-Man's there at launch on PS4, and then you got to wait till early next year for Xbox. Because
I think
being an Xbox, heavily into Xbox, like it was my lead system last gen. We benefited a lot from that. Not exactly in the games that I gave a shit about, but everyone always brings up like, oh yeah, you guys got you just getting your comeuppance for the Call of Duty maps coming out early. I'm like, well, I never really benefited from that, but so fuck you. I just felt like Randy Marsh. Oh, hey, fuck you.
Spider-Man situation is a little strange, but that just kind of goes back to the whole
Sony owns like everything Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's like all. I mean,
Disney has to pay to use Spider-Man on the friggin' movies.
I mean, good. Personally, I hope Sony keeps an iron fist on Spider-Man because screw Disney and their monopolistic takeover of.
Well, screw Disney, but I want Spider-Man integrated in the fucking Marvel, man. I'm a Marvel guy, and I love Spider-Man.
They work together, just don't give up the rights to Disney,
as
they have been doing. So,
yeah. Well. Yeah. It was really up in the air there for a bit too. We even talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
But
yes, we did.
I don't know. It's like Spider-Man, and I want Spider-Man. So I think Spider-Man's for everybody though. So, yeah, give them to the Xbox guys too. Come on, assholes. But yeah. I'm just thinking like how they could do that in another game, like. I just would feel like half the game's missing knowing that Spider-Man's in the game for other people. Like, I mean, even on like stuff like Soul Calibur, where they had the exclusive Star Wars characters for number 4. You had Darth Vader on PS3 and you had Yoda on Xbox.
Yeah, that's pretty. That sort of thing is pretty annoying.
Yeah, it's just dumb.
It is what it is.
I mean, I was already getting on PS4, so like I said, I guess I made the right choice. But damn.
Yeah.
That's hardball.
Yeah.
So, all right. That's just mean.
Well,
yeah, I don't know. So I might wait till I'm still getting it, but I'm going to be waiting till Spider-Man's out. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because that'd be like Ultimate Alliance not having Spider-Man in it. But I mean, that's a console exclusive in its own, so that's a weird one too. Just kind of all the Marvel just play nice together always. Assholes.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into our community question.
Hell yeah.
What
did we have last time? We had a lazy one, didn't we?
Yeah. What was your favorite armor in gaming?
All right.
Keep it in our series of lazy questions. And
quick. They come to us quick. They're not lazy. We are lazy for not thinking of something earlier.
Yeah, I'm a bad host. It is what it is, though.
All right,
I don't know. I don't apologize for being a bad host. It's just
we are worthlessly lazy. We're living up to our namesake here.
Yes. So we did get a response. Black Metal Gamer, thank you very much. Answering those questions. He says, favorite armor, Kain from Final Fantasy IV, baby.
Cool.
And Kain is a badass. He has that like sweet dragoon armor.
He's
Dragon
Undertaker's
helmet.
brother. It's pretty sweet. Right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's a wrestler named Kane.
Yeah, and that's
What do you got? What's yours?
So mine's kind of unusual. Very non what people would probably expect as an answer. But I'm gonna go with just in general Diablo 3. Because there's nothing better than fully customizable armor that you can change the pieces, you can change the colors, you can make.
Man, even the answer is lazy. You just picked the whole fucking game's armor. I mean, that is a good choice.
Well, primarily the demon hunter.
Okay,
I played a female demon hunter in Diablo 3, and I spent a lot of time coming up with the perfect look, and my character looked awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna go a standout within its own game. It's always the armor I end up rocking the whole game as soon as I get it, and that's the Daedra armor from the Elder Scroll games.
Ooh.
Once I get that, I don't care if there's even one with better stats. I'm like, nope.
Though I used
Daedric armor.
I used
Daedric
the dragon armor.
The dragon bone armor?
Yeah.
That shit sucks.
Well,
It's such a pain. It's such a pain in the ass of hauling that heavy ass shit around, and then you make the armor, and it's not even as good as the Daedric armor you've been wearing the whole time you've been killing these dragons to get the bone armor.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look it up ahead of time when I made it. I was like, man, what the hell is this shit? It's like I should have had some kind of for the pain in the ass of carrying those heavy ass dragon bones around. It should have a thing like you can never get over encumbered again or something. We'll have the leveling up to be able to even make it. Yeah. I mean, it looked okay, but I don't know. Cool Daedra armor is cooler.
Yeah.
But we'll agree to disagree with this. But just fuck the dragon bone armor. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's demon armor. It's
Hater.
Yeah. I at least didn't say Master Chief's armor or some shit.
Yeah. Halo guy's armor. No, so there's some other cool ones, go fashion souls, like
almost all that armor in those games is kick-ass looking too. But
I did
that's something you could swap out once in a while, but once I get that Daedra armor, it might as well just be bound to me because I'm not changing it.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of cool armor in games. That's like a big thing for me. If I can like make my character look fashionable to my aesthetics, like that's a winner.
Yeah.
Code Vein.
I like ones where you can wear a different type of armor, but you can change the look so it looks like the kind you like. When a game has that, that's
Diablo 3.
That's peak gaming. Where you could be like, all right, I'm going to get the stats of this armor, but I'm going to have the look be this one.
Yeah, Diablo 3. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Sweet.
But
Yeah.
specifically Demon Hunter because that was my character.
So we've been talking next-gen games. What's coming up? And want to know what's got you most hyped for either system? What's selling you a system right now? What would it take to get you to buy one of these systems? If there's a game that hasn't been announced already, let me hear what it is. And if it has been announced, what it is. So that's the question. What games got you most hyped from these, what's been announced so far, or what would it take to get you day one-ing one of these consoles?
Sounds good.
Yeah,
I'll be
it does.
Day one.
Sounds like we actually put some work into it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's like We create the illusion of trying sometimes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Now that's over with. It's been a while. It's been about a month. What have you been up to?
Weeks. As always.
2 weeks from the other 2 weeks.
Yeah. Played a few games.
Yeah, what have you been playing?
Knocked out a couple quick playthroughs before jumping into Ghost of Tsushima, but I just picked up you had picked up Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, and I was like, I didn't even know that was out, so I grabbed it too.
Yeah, I showed it to you. I sent you a picture like, ooh, look what's out. And you're like, just bought it.
I just ordered it immediately because that's basically what I was waiting for Mortal Kombat 11 because
Me too. I was crying about it. I was just like, hurry up. They got Terminator and RoboCop. Oh, come on, man. It was the most painful wait ever.
And I was just waiting for, that's cool, but I just wanted to play the story. And the fact that it came with a bonus story, the first ever story DLC add-on for Mortal Kombat game, and
it
was
I love
awesome.
These games.
Oh, it's so good, great, and I'm super interested to see where they're gonna go with this because they have basically they can do anything at this point.
Infinite possibilities now.
So.
It's so awesome. I beat it on the last episode. I think we talked about.
And let's get Melina back, and then I will be happy.
Yeah, well, such a good story.
Yeah, it was
a good game. But I mean, I like Mortal Kombat games in general, so those are usually day one or close to buy. But I'm tired of buying them and then having to rebuy them a year later when everything. I swear, this was the longest it took for them to put out a complete edition thing too. So.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I already wanted it. And then there was all that cool shit at E3 last year. They even gave me free fucking Mortal Kombat ice cream. And I was like, man, I want to buy this game. And I played a little bit of it at E3. But I was just like, oh, man, I'm holding out, though. There's nothing that can make me buy this early. And all of a sudden, they're like, Terminator's coming in. I'm like, are you serious? And then RoboCop. I'm like, I love RoboCop, especially when you can fight Terminator. Oh, what are you doing to me? All these other characters looking cool as shit. And I'm like, assholes.
Yeah.
Just put out the complete edition. And I was even looking at come on, drop the price of the Ultimate Edition. But lo, they did not.
Yeah.
So I waited and it paid off. Amazing. So happy.
Yeah. I loved it. It's great. Definitely recommend anybody who really hasn't given a look at especially the modern Mortal Kombat series starting with 9.
Yeah,
it's basically like an interactive movie where it's
and
talking
the
and things, and then you do all the fighting, and it's seamless. It's fantastic, and the stories are crazy.
NetherRealm in general has been kicking all the ass, all the games they've been putting out, because they've got the DC games too. The Mortal Kombat DC was cool.
Injustice.
Also, both of the Injustice games
I haven't
are
played those
amazing.
yet myself. I'll get to it. But anyways,
I don't know. I've already got so many things I'm bugging you and daring you to play.
Yeah, I know.
Can you just do me the solid and just on your own volition, just play some fucking Injustice, please? Jesus Christ.
God damn it. I played Yakuza's Hero.
I know.
Be satisfied.
I can't just recommend things.
That's
I gotta fucking bully you into playing games. Play this damn game.
Well, next game I played, we both played, and I think we both got some thoughts to share on Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2.
Let's talk about that. You said you had time for some quick playthroughs. And this game, it required minimum of 2 complete playthroughs.
I would say 3.
But suggested 3, yeah.
You gotta play. You gotta play through. You gotta see all the story, and then you can move. Then you can call it beat or whatever. And I do. I wasn't as upset about the third playthrough as you were, but it was starting to get okay, guys, come on. Now, at least they mixed up a little bit with the third playthrough with the old characters coming in, and then the I don't whatever the shmup section spoilers, I guess. Not really, but
No.
at least there was that. But yeah, it was.
Well, that wasn't the Smurfs section was a completely new thing. I welcome that.
Yeah.
I don't welcome false extension of your game by making me play through the same shit over and over.
Yeah,
I know there's the branching paths and they added the characters, but I'm like, same thing. I'm still fighting the same boss at the end of these levels, and some of them were some of them I didn't like enough that I wouldn't have played them again. Some of them, they're got really efficient at beating them, but there's someone like, oh, this asshole again.
Yeah,
it wasn't even so much the levels. It's like I know what's coming at the end of this level, and I hate this shit. But the new characters were cool.
Hachi, Goat.
Hachi was alright.
Goat, greatest of all time. Hachi was my boy.
Well, do you know who was my boy on that third playthrough? Is a guy whose name I can't fucking remember, but the guy that turns into a bat. Because I would just save up and then I would just fly through shit.
Gable? Gable?
Yeah.
Gable?
Yeah, so I would just I turn into a bat. I'm fuck this shit. I just know what was coming up. Because I just recently beat these levels twice, so I'd be like, fuck this part.
Yeah.
And just fly through and be like, yeah.
And I did play on veteran the whole time. I didn't cheap out and not do the it's either knockbacks or no knockbacks. And I was like,
that's basically it.
I'll deal with it. I hated that crap. Yeah. It's like so many times it's like, oh, you mother.
I switched it down after the first playthrough. I was just like, screw this.
I should have, but the only difference is just the knockbacks during the levels, and
the
levels are what like just get through the levels. The bosses.
I said I did it once, so I feel like I just basically did it. So I was just like, I got nothing to prove. I knocked it down just to get through it because I was annoyed.
I did like that
that's what the biggest bummer is, because I've loved the first Curse of the Moon. I loved Ritual of the Night. Was so stoked for this that I bought it probably 2 seconds after it went up. Like I looked, it wasn't on. I looked again before I was going to go to bed, and I'm like, oh shit, it's up. And it was like 10 minutes later after I just looked, and downloaded and played like the first couple of levels when I was already like, I'm dying tired, but I was like, but I'm dying to play this more. So at first I was loving it. I loved every minute of the first playthrough, but then when I realized you got to do it again,
well, yeah,
it's like, well, this kind of sucks. Not as much, not to the extent.
It's only the third playthrough is the only real separating factor. Is that you had to do third playthrough to get the full story in this one, where the first one you only had to do 2.
Yeah,
but I get it. And the second playthrough is kind of tough because they took one of the characters away, and I used that character quite a bit.
Yeah, I liked her jumping.
Yeah,
her jumping was great.
And then
she was basically like my, if everyone's full health, I go to her.
Yeah.
And
Hachi was my main for sure, like dominantly.
Why was that?
Very easy for me. It was a lot of just because of his hover. Like
sometimes I found his hover kind of unreliable. Where you would sometimes you'd just jump and he just wouldn't start hovering, and you'd be like,
"Oh, I didn't really have that issue."
There was a couple of times where I was like, "Here I go to hover." Oh,
because if I wanted to, well, basically, it was like for me, it was the no risk platforming, because I would hover, and then if I was worried about taking damage, I just. His special ability was the invincibility, and then if I had an enemy under, then you can just do the power slam. It's like I was unstoppable. It was like if Hachi died, it's like screw it, I'm just gonna restart the level. I didn't, but I was.
I didn't really abuse that too much. I used it at the end the most, and I think the most I used it before that was that the lava dragon or whatever.
Yeah,
I used it a bit on that, but I didn't really use it much throughout the levels. I don't think I use it at all on the regular level parts that I can really remember.
I used everything quite a bit. A lot of their special moves were really good.
I found their base special moves and the ones you'd pick up would be like, oh, these are just kind of situational.
Yeah, and that
but I'd want their base ones when it came to the actual like boss fights, like the sniper guy, because he had like that thing where he'd throw like 2 or 3 tridents or whatever.
Yeah,
and
that
that
was
was
great.
That was awesome on most of the bosses, like because sometimes like your main guys would get taken down, and he was like the last hope, and he'd come through the clutch for me on a couple of them. I remember, especially the first times. Oh,
yeah, so. I did feel this game kind of made you want to switch through characters a little bit more.
Yeah, instead of just having like 1 or 2 favorites and then just
I definitely felt like I made use of more of the characters. I mean, overall, it's more of the same of the first game, except you have to do a third playthrough, which can be a little tiring. But I like I said, I thought the third playthrough is neat because they bring in all the old characters, so you get to switch between 8 characters.
Yeah. Oh, and you don't have to do the.
Yeah, you don't have
to do the third one. If you're an absolute boss, you can get to the.
Well, it's a different
ending, but it gives you like
the bad ending or something, or it's an alternate ending, but it's not like
it's an alternate. I don't think it's a bad ending. It's a harder ending to get because when you go through the levels again, the shmup section, it adds basically power-ups and things that annihilate everything, or if you don't have any, because I was just like, I'm gonna try it anyway, and I actually got to the end of it, but the boss just wrecked me because I had like it gives you more chances and it gives you those power-ups, so I was just like I made it to the end once and I was like, all right, I kept trying every couple of levels, and I don't think I even did the last 2 levels again. I was just like, good enough. So I didn't really care to get the characters that were the last. It was either the last 1 level or the last 2 levels. But I was like, I don't know, I can do without those guys.
But I mean, for anybody as like, if they ask me like, should I play Curse of the Moon 2, I would say definitely.
I'd say play the other 2 first. If they were like, oh, I've been wanting to check the series out, I'd
play
like, check out 1.
Yeah, definitely play 1. If you like Curse of the Moon 1, then I think you'd like Curse of the Moon 2. But I would definitely say play Ritual of the Night over either of them, because
Ritual's the greatest game.
I think if you want more of that like traditional Castlevania 3 fix, then Curse of the Moon is. I mean, I personally I think are way better than Castlevania 1 and 3.
It's got the benefit of being like 30 years newer, so the quality of life things that you're not going to run into from that.
Ultimately, that's the main gains.
What really pisses me off about Castlevania in general is Medusa heads, and this has barely anything like a Medusa head. So there's that.
Yeah, they're a lot easier to manage in this because they kind of have a Medusa head that's the eyeball thing, but they're super predictable.
They don't spam the shit out of them at spots. You can get past them.
Yeah.
So there's
for
that.
Sure. So it's fun stuff. I'm looking forward to the limited run release.
Yeah, I'm still gonna buy it even though I'm shitting on it. I want it for the collection.
Yeah. And then after that, then I'm just gonna quickly shout out. I did a new pickup video, a little. It's like 10 minutes shorter than my average one, just because I had a few less pickups. But definitely recommend people checking that out. I've been hearing a lot of people lately just kind of ragging on pickup videos in general, and I don't necessarily blame them for doing that, but a lot of them.
It depends on who's doing them. If you're interesting during a pickup video, I like the story.
Yeah.
And if you get something more than the newest games, I don't care. Like, I assume you got them if you're a big gamer.
New games, but
but you get a variety of stuff. So you always get a variety. But if you're all I got all the new PS4 games, I'd be like, okay, and you don't have a story to go with them, like you tell a story. But some people are like, got this, and then they got all they are is like it seems like bragging. Yeah. Where other people, you're like, cool, I'm getting a story, like how you found your pickup, how you did this, not like, oh yeah, I got this, and some people have to shout out how much they paid for every single thing they bought.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot
like
less retro lately, but even still, like, I try to talk about the games. I show footage to, like, hey, maybe you never heard of this game. Hey, check it out.
And you're not just getting like the biggest releases either, though. You like shout out lesser known stuff, and that's what I appreciate.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because you're my friend. Like, there's some people I've watched. I like watching. In general, I like watching pickup videos, but there's some people that I can't stand their pickup videos because it just seems like, yeah, I got this. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't care.
So there's definitely like different levels. I don't want to say I'm like quality. I don't do anything better than anybody else, but I do put effort. And a lot of people think pickup videos are like no effort. Like I put hours into my editing and stuff.
And there's like the collection videos too, where sometimes it's just like, meh.
It just depends.
And then there's like, watching like Chris's or Joe's when they did their full thing where like they tell you the story about it, they tell you a little bit about the game, they tell you where they got it, like they remember all this shit.
Yeah.
And it makes it interesting. You're not just like running through I just don't like the ones that come off braggy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Some come off braggy and boring and you're like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, you got, I mean, I don't doubt when people get deals, and I'm sure some people embellish, but
yeah. There's
also like, yeah, you got a deal. Just say you got a deal. I don't need to know you got that $200 game for $2. Like I don't really care.
Yeah,
it's cool that you got it. You got a story about it, or are you just gonna, don't be boring.
Yeah,
be have some enthusiasm when you talk and
something. So anyways, so I got a new pickup video, and then I also did a Ghost of Tsushima Collector's Edition unboxing because I picked up Ghost of Tsushima, and that's basically what I've been playing for the last couple weeks now. I think it's been 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
It's a hefty game.
You done yet?
I'm not done. I'm getting there. Who knows if I get a lot of free time this weekend, maybe I can finish it this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. I'm really enjoying it.
Show up to that video of that guy getting juggled.
Yeah.
The first time I saw that one, it was set to the music. I can't remember. I don't remember the name of the song, but it's the intro song from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Okay.
And it's just to the beat of the shots hitting that guy.
Glitch. Oh, no love for my glitch video. Nobody. I don't think anybody actually.
I was waiting for you to say some shit about it. People did comment on your fucking headless moaning guy.
I haven't checked the video since last night, but every comment I was getting, like on Twitter or Facebook, was everybody thought it was a video just sharing like, oh, it looks really cool when you cut dude's head off. Like that wasn't even like the thing. It was the fact that I cut dude's head off, and then he's like crawling around headless because that's what they do sometimes. Well, they don't crawl around headless, but like if
they're injured, they'll crawl around.
Yeah, they'll crawl around, and for some reason it glitched out, and I cut off his head, and his corpse was still crawling around. I thought it was funny.
I had mad respect for it.
But no, it's a great game. There's people game of the year talks and whatnot. I'm not sure. I really enjoy it, but I don't know if it's going to make we'll see. Well, it depends on how many game of the years how far down the list we go.
What do you mean?
Like if we're only doing top 3 games of the year, game of the year list or something, I don't know if it's going to make that list. If we do top 5, maybe.
Man, it's in my top 3 and I haven't even played it yet.
It's really sweet. It's awesome. I will definitely say that. Like if
just kidding.
It's basically like
just from what I've seen, I'm expecting it because I've been when everyone was like sucking Sekiro's dick when it was announced at the same time. I was all like, oh man, that Ghost of Tsushima is looking pretty cool.
Yeah,
and I've been the one that's like every couple months like, what's happening with Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah,
and I'm glad that everyone's stoked on it now because I wasn't hearing nothing about it. And I'm like, is anyone else to scope for this Ghost of Tsushima? So I've been flying that flag forever, and my copy's been sitting across.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't mention that with my. I've been getting kind of like drops of my mail. It all got picked up from like I think it was the beginning of May. Was the last time they went and checked out my PO box, and I've been getting like a big bag of stuff. But I've got so much shit over there, and they don't give me any warning, or else I'd be like, "Hey, can you throw Ghost of Tsushima in this round?" So I've gotten a bunch of stuff, but I haven't gotten that specific thing. So
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, because
I'm just trying to avoid people talking about because like
yeah, and I want to talk about it more, but I want you to be able to enjoy it as
tell me, you can talk about it. Just don't. I
spoiler
mean, you're not a spoilery guy, so I don't need to worry about it. So you can go ahead.
No, it's great. I mean, for anybody who likes something like, say, Horizon Zero Dawn or Red Dead Redemption, like that's basically kind of how this game is, but it's set in feudal Japan, and it's great. Like the gameplay is great, characters, story, like everything about it is just solid. Although my only complaint is, again, like, can we please focus on making games 60 FPS instead of 30 FPS, because it just muddies everything up.
Well, it's been playing at 0 FPS on my end, so I don't know.
True.
Maybe you got nothing to complain about.
No, I can definitely complain.
Nope.
Absolutely, and I just did. But everything else is great. I'm a lot of my friends are platinuming it, doing like all the stuff. I'm not doing all the stuff, like, because you got the maps and like things show up. I'm not doing all of the stuff. I'm doing a lot of the stuff, but I'm not doing it all.
I don't think you're doing any of this stuff.
Well, I'm doing plenty of the stuff. I sure.
I'll know when I see that platinum, I guess. Then.
But
I'll just assume you did none of the stuff besides the main stuff.
Sure, I already got a bunch of achievements, but whatever.
You're playing on
but I'm really interested to see how things are gonna end, because there's already kind of like inklings, like, are there some things happening that I think that could be happening that could be in the second game? I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully there's a second game. I don't know.
Second game's going to be out before I get to play it. Like I said, I think I even made like a sad tweet about it. Just, shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I was low key hoping they'd just send me a code so I could play it until it shows up.
Yeah, or something. But yeah, that's mostly been what I've been up to. So yeah, more Ghost of Tsushima. So enough about me. Let's hear about your busy few weeks. Been kicking some games butts.
Yeah, I'm so surprised myself.
What's your count this year right now?
I'm at 79 games beat.
Jesus.
Which is where I was in November last year. Wait, no, I was less than that because I did the last like 27 games in like December alone.
Yeah.
So I'm way ahead of next year's schedule.
Rushing it.
I want to say I'm playing more substantial games for the most part too.
Yeah.
Longer games. I mean, last year I loved that arcade stick of mine and haven't been going as crazy with it this year, but I still love it. And I've since the last episode, I believe I've beaten 11 games, so that's quite a lot. I put out episode 7 and soon to be episode 8 of the Super Enabler Bros show. I'm super stoked on episode 8. Big surprise for everyone when it comes out. But it's alluded to a little bit in episode 7, so definitely still check out episode 7. It's great too. But a lot of fun with that. Actually, episode 8 was the first, basically the trial run of the new podcast setup, so that was great. And speaking of beating some games, since the last episode, I beat Curse of the Moon 2, as we said. Then I went on like a bit of a Sega spree. So I went for some of the GOATs. I went for Gunstar Heroes first. Then right into some TMNT Hyperstone Heist. Believe it or not, I'd never beat that. Araya and I had come super close on several occasions.
Ever actually played Hyperstone Heist?
It's always been like we get pretty far and then it's like, okay guys, it's bedtime or supper time or whatever, so we've had to turn it off. But yeah, made it happen this time. Super stoked. It's not even that long of a game, so that's what pisses me off. Then I went into Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, which is the first N64 mystical ninja game. And I decided to go with that first because about 3 weeks ago, I got an awesome big Genesis bundle pickup, and I ended up scoring a copy of Goemon's Great Adventure. So I was like, well, I want to beat the first one first. And then I went through Rocket Knight Adventures because I was still on that Sega Genesis kick while it was out. I was just like popping more stuff into it.
Possibly.
And that's one of the games I upgraded in my Genesis haul, so that was pretty sweet.
It's like it might be my favorite Genesis game. I don't know. It's up there.
Yeah, it's because you haven't played fucking Castlevania Bloodstain Blood.
I don't have it. I wish I did.
Bloodlines. I know. Gotta get it. I'm telling you, it's on that Castlevania collection.
True.
So when we get that physical edition.
Yay.
Anyway, then I went into another game that I beat before, but not on this version. I actually kind of just wanted to see if it was any different. And I beat House of the Dead 2 on the Wii.
Excellent.
And while I was there, I was like, the Wii was hooked up, so I threw in Transformers Cybertron Adventures, which is basically the Wii's version of Transformers War for Cybertron.
Is that
the story?
Platinum
one? Yeah. Oh, High Moon.
Okay.
Yeah, High Moon. Platinum was the... Are you thinking of the one that's like the G1 with like the cell shading?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Devastation.
Ah.
The High Moon made these. These are the best Transformers games. Was
the best.
War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron. Yeah, I'll die on that hill. Devastation was amazing, but it was arcadey and stuff. But
I haven't played any of them.
The story of War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron were just too good, and it had that awesome, pretty awesome online component also. But this one, like I said, a lot of the story beats were pretty close, but the game itself was pretty much totally different. It was kind of like a on-rail shooter, but you had a bit of control of your character. Like there was driving sections and stuff where you controlled your Transformer, and there's also, you could like duck behind cover in the shooting sections. So you had to be kind of strategic there. It wasn't just like shoot everything on screen like House of the Dead kind of thing.
Sure.
And there's also the two campaigns. There's the Autobot campaign and the Decepticon campaign, just like in the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron games too. So more Transformers action is awesome to me. And decently long. Not as long as the counterparts, but a lot of fun. Anyway, and then next, another Genesis game. A game I got from our buddy Musty Hobbit. At last year's MGC, we did a little bit of a trade, and I got Steel Empire, which is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up where you're a Zeppelin, which sounds like the worst vehicle for a shoot-'em-up ever. But
it's not Led Zeppelin?
It worked. It moved faster than a Led Zeppelin. It wasn't the Hindenburg, and it was super creative. It was like a steampunk sort of blimp shooter. So
I don't think I've seen this one before, actually.
A lot of fun, pretty challenging, but not ridiculous. Wasn't really like bullet hell, but really well made game. But I like I said in my tweet when I beat it, I've never wanted to beat an enemy less, because the bad guys in this game are called the Motorhead Empire, and I was like, if I get to the end of this game and it's Lemmy, I'm just going to turn it off. I will not fight Lemmy. So
yeah, I'm looking at screenshots, and this actually looks pretty sweet.
It was fucking dope. I loved it. Sorry, spoiler. Lemmy isn't the end boss, so that was good. I was able to beat it. And then I think this is the first game that I beat in the garage when I got it semi set up. I fired up the arcade stick and I played this game called Bang Bang Ball.
Bang Bang Ball.
And I didn't want to tell anyone that, last night I was playing some Bang Bang Ball in the garage. Because it kind of sounds like a Hammer and Testicles version of that knife game where you do the knife in between your fingers.
Yeah.
But it's not that. It's about a skateboarding mouse, and it's kind of like I don't want to make it. It's not like a Bejeweled game, but it's like it's a matching colors together thing where you can get hit by stuff. So there's like a life bar. You can ricochet. It takes a lot of strategy. And I actually got hooked on it. I kind of selected it by accident. I was like, what the hell is this? Kind of, because I go through the menu and check out the games, and I'm like, I don't even remember seeing this. What the hell is this? And it was actually super fun. I got right into it. It's got boss battles too, where they're pretty challenging. Some levels are just easy breezy through it. Throughout the game too, there'd be like one level you're like, wow, that should have been like the third level, and then the next one it would take like 15 tries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a couple of pretty nasty hard ones, but for the most part they were doable in 1 or 2 tries. But like I said, you could get hit. So, and there's a time limit, so you couldn't just be strategic. You'd run out of time too. So that kind of sucked. When you run out of time, it doesn't just automatically like kill you. It sends out these like little tornadoes that like sweep around, and if you get hit, it just makes it basically more dangerous. There was one time when those were out. After a while, a second one comes out, and I actually ended up beating a level with that because it was close enough. But yeah, it was hectic. So yeah, a lot of fun, crazy cool puzzle game, and game I just played on a whim, and I'm glad I did. And then next, I wanted to play this game since it was called the Henshin Engine.
About time.
But FX Yuki.
Yeah.
I got the Dreamcast copy. I want to say close to a year ago now, and yeah, excellent game. I loved it. Love the homages it plays to the classic 16-bit games. Every level except the last level is a tribute to some sort of game like Castlevania or Lords of Thunder, whatever you have, Adventure Island, stuff like that.
Bonk.
So yeah, Bonk, yeah. There's a lot of cool.
How about the
Mega Man
track?
Soundtrack was.
Oh my god!
The game was awesome, but the soundtrack was the best part. I'm sorry, it was.
The soundtrack is insane. It is so.
I wish I had known, because I would have jumped on that soundtrack when it was available still. Now I'm gonna have to pirate it. But yeah, excellent soundtrack. They went overboard on it. Like it was the game was hard as balls, but it was.
Yeah, it's just.
I actually ran into a glitch too.
Yeah.
I ran into a glitch, and I don't know if it was just because like I was running out of time, and I had to play it in a timely fashion. I'm not gonna spoil why, but I was just like, damn it. So I was just like, well, I'll run through it on easy, then I'll go through the harder modes when I get a time. Check them all out, check all this other stuff out, and I got to the end, and during the end boss, it would just like freeze in the same phase. Almost like the same spot every time, and I'm like, hey, it's not the disc. It can't be the disc. And I was checking other stuff out, and it being like an indie game, there wasn't a lot about it online, so I was trying to figure it out. I ended up contacting our friend Sarumaru, who made the game, and he helped me out a little bit through it, and then I got it figured out how to actually continue the game and play it to the end, so I was able to beat it. But yeah, besides that small thing, I'm not sure if it was the difficulty or whatever, but the code I was using to resume I just couldn't get past it. So
yeah, super weird.
Yeah, the last level was oddly enough the easiest level.
Yeah.
And so I was getting through that, and then I'd be able to get through it without getting hit even once, and then I get to the boss and have him just about done, and then all of a sudden freeze up, and I was like, oh, this is really unfortunate. I'm really enjoying the game besides that. I mean, sometimes I was getting annoyed, but that soundtrack kept me going.
Keeps you going, man. Sure does.
Yeah, I was like, I want to hear that song again, so I might as well play some more of this. So it was, a great game. And then I went on while I had the Dreamcast out. I like to do this. It seems like a kind of a pattern emerging. But I put in the Dreamcast, Sword of the Berserk, Guts' Rage.
Real quick, one last thing about Yuki is, for anybody listening that hasn't seen it, I did a full video review. Check it out.
Hit it up. And you also did an interview when it was still the Henshin engine also. Yeah, so check it the F out. It's on TurboGrafx CD. It's on Dreamcast, and in super low quantities, it's in Genesis. I believe you have all three, right?
I do.
Boom.
So yeah, Berserk, Sword of the Berserk.
So the Berserk Guts' Rage on the Dreamcast. I bought it off our buddy and former co-host Justin quite a while ago, and it's it's based on the anime or manga Berserk, and it was a lot of fun. I've been wanting to play it for quite a while because I got the PS4 game as well, and that's the only other game for the series except for a Japanese only PS2 game. And it was all right.
Is this like
I want to
game as well?
What's that?
Is this a Masao game as well?
No, it's a hack and slash. You fight groups of enemies, but not huge hordes of enemies like in those games.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of a clunky hack and slash. There wasn't too much variety to it, but it would be like awesome cutscene, cool story, cut up these guys and go through a door, clear the area. That's it.
Do you know
fight a boss and then more cutscenes? And it wasn't too long.
Do you know where
it was enjoyable enough, but
it falls in?
Not exactly. I'm not an expert on that. I enjoy the series, but I'm not huge into it. Like I don't. No.
You don't read the manga?
No, I don't know.
Really, seriously, anybody, like, even if you
I've checked it out, but I don't like. I'm not up on it.
Everybody,
it's really great. I've liked anything I've seen. I haven't even seen the original anime. I've seen the newer ones, and I liked them enough as what got me into it. And then
don't even just Google read Berserk online. There are multiple websites that have the entire series in a really nice format where you can just read it on the website. It's
I want to watch the other anime too when I get around to it. Maybe I'll try and find it on like DVD or Blu-ray and just order it. I'm more likely to watch it then.
You're gonna ruin it because they ruined it. The original series.
What ruined it more, the original series or the newer ones?
The newer one. Well,
because if I like the newer one enough, I'm sure that's a good place to start. Because I'll like the other one more, and then I'll like the other one more. Yeah,
the new one's just mostly the animation's like such a huge eyesore. But the manga is just, it's on a whole nother level.
It didn't really bug me that much, the newer animation.
And it's all toned down.
It was pretty fucking gory. What are you talking about?
I mean, the comics, besides getting like complete story, like the art style in particular, like some of the like two-page spreads that they do in Berserk are just insane. Like the amount of detail and oh my god! I mean, that's one of the best things about the Berserk manga is the art is just so incredible. Like you just can't do that in animation, unfortunately.
Well, it'd be too expensive.
But
yeah, it was pretty good. I liked the story of it. Like if it was a longer game, it might have became kind of a struggle. But like it just wasn't. If you played a lot newer hack and slash games, it really doesn't hold up to those. I'm not saying I expected Devil May Cry. He swings a gigantic sword, but there's not a whole huge variety to his attacks. But the story keeps it going. So the story and the animation and the cutscenes and everything was really good. It was one of those ones where you can't control the camera, and I'm like, why? There's two thumbsticks. So, but besides that, it was it was a fun time. So yeah, I'm probably bumped the new one up on my list more. And then I alluded to playing this game, but I played Goemon's Great Adventure. It was the last game I played, and it's different from the other N64 game, but I think I liked it better. It's a 2.5D action platformer, as the other one was like a 3D action game. And it had some camera issues, but nothing that really was annoying at some points. So some jumps and stuff. But the action platformer style was a lot of fun. Not too tough. It kept the first-person mech battles that the other one had. Those were actually exactly the same.
I know there's mech battles.
Oh yeah, it's Japan. So it was a there's super odd Japanese games where like I played through the whole game but I could barely tell you what the story was about.
Sure.
Even though it was in English.
Sure.
But yeah, speaking of that, I'll be jumping into the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom games next because I have all those.
Nice.
I know those games are awesome. I've played a bunch of the first, the North American Legend of the Mystical Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll be doing that one first. Then I got the 3 Gambare Goemon games I picked up quite a while back. And yeah, excited to jump into those. Those will be fun. Yeah, besides that, that's all I've been up to. God damn. That went on for a while.
It's all good.
So I think I'm bugging Polykill at this point with my beat tweets. I should just tweet every second game or something I beat for a while. But yeah, I'm surprised. Like when I actually listened to the latest episode, I didn't even realize sometimes I beat like 2 games in a day, but it feels like I go a week without playing games sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just like my days off are ending now. I just had the last 2 3/4 of a day off, and I played very little games. So maybe someone else will be get a chance to catch up here. I don't know. I've been working my ass off, but I said when I take a break, I play some games. But even the last couple of days, it's been pretty minimal.
Well,
I've been wanting to play that Iron Man VR like so bad. I finally got it in the one of my mail drops. So I was like, okay, I'm playing the shit out of this on my days off. And then I just got obsessed with working on last night I was working on my NES coffee table that I built. I built a to scale size giant NES coffee table about it's got to be about 4 or 5 years ago now. And this was at my old house, and when we were moving, it got pretty beat up. Parts were falling off it, and then it was just kind of like buried in my garage until I freed it. And last night I was like, I am fixing that motherfucker up. I gotta see if it's fixable, see if it's garbage, whatever. Like it was like one of the last giant things in my way. So I was just like, we'll do what I can. So keep an eye on Facebook and Twitter coming up, because I'm going to do my best to finish this thing off.
Cool. Well, speaking of what's coming up, let's quickly check out what's coming out in the next couple weeks, or anything that we might have missed in the last week.
Yeah,
week or so. Not ton. You got some Horizon Zero Dawn's coming to the PC. I think that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's already out, I think, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
I think so.
I didn't think it was out yet, but maybe there.
Call me a liar.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
And I don't know if I mentioned it last episode, but on the 23rd, Carrion was released.
Yeah, I think we talked about it when we were talking about the what do they call it? The limited run.
Oh yeah.
What do they call that again? What do they call their thing? Something
LRG3. Yeah,
that looks really cool. I wish it would get a physical copy on something besides the Switch, but
right. We'll cross our fingers for that one. Might be coming.
It's not even out on PS4. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh well, Xbox, get on that. And then we can hold it over everyone who's got to get to play Spider-Man. Rogue Company. I never heard of this. It looks kind of cool from the picture I'm seeing.
A game that there's a lot of hype about that looked like it could be a fun game. Seems like a lot of people are enjoying it. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout just came out.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a MXC extreme challenge sort of looking game. I might pick it up just maybe to do some stupid late night random online gaming. It's been a while.
Just to pick up and play a game.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people saying, hey, 10, 15 minutes you got to kill, fire it up, have some fun. It's like goofy physics and obstacle courses and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. I'm down for it. I'll check it out probably.
That's...
Destroy All Humans came out again, so that's cool. I'm hearing really good stuff about the update to it, so I was looking to pick it up. I've been kind of hyped on it since I saw it at E3 last year. Met them aliens. They were pretty cool guys. They didn't kill me, so Decent.
Yeah.
Skater XL is another game that came out. They trying to get an early run on that Tony Hawk money before the new game comes out the new old game comes out next month. So whatever.
And that's really about the standouts for me.
Hellpoint. I've never heard of Hellpoint. Cool. Yeah, not too much else. Well, Fast and Furious Crossroads. How could we miss talking about that crap that we don't want to talk about?
Well, besides game releases, there's some pretty cool stuff coming up in the Cartridge Club community.
Yeah.
August, CC Prime is playing The Witcher 3, which is very bold of them to choose The Witcher 3.
Why so?
It'd be interesting how many people finish it or how many people won't start it because it's such a long game. Like, I think for a game like The Witcher 3, even if somebody's like, oh man, it's a 100-hour game, play it for a few hours. Who cares? Check it out. Use it as an excuse. As soon as I'm finished with Ghost of Tsushima, I am diving head into The Witcher 3, and I fully intend to play the entire game and the expansions. So it's going to be a while before I play anything else.
Look at that. I dared you. You took that dare. That's the full deciding factor of why you're playing it. I'm done that.
So, and then along with that, the Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island episode of the podcast is now available for your listening pleasure.
And the previous month is up on YouTube now.
Yes,
that I'm part of.
Yeah, very exciting. Is that
actually they uploaded a bunch onto the YouTube channel finally.
Yep, the last
Steve on there now.
Seasons are available on YouTube now, and it will be current. The club basically wanted to get a bunch up because it's I think it's a missed opportunity. There are people who do prefer if there's a podcast or something on YouTube, they'll use that.
I'm a little bit bummed they didn't do the video ones like they used to though.
Yeah.
I didn't pick my nose too much in my episode. I'm just kidding. No, it's understandable, but yeah, I miss the Hangouts kind of.
Well, they do Hangouts. The Hangouts have started up again. They're only monthly though.
Yeah.
Last month was the last of it.
I mean, like when they used Google Hangouts.
Oh yeah.
They used to have the video episodes because I remember on the.
Well, they do this.
The Arkham City one was the last one they did a video of, I think.
Oh.
Because that was the very last. That was the first episode I was on, and it was the last one before Hangouts was no more.
The podcasts have always been non-video.
You sure about that?
Pretty sure.
Nope. Check your facts.
Well, anyways,
also, it's something I'm super surprised you haven't mentioned yet, because it's from the documentary makers that you usually share. The latest one. Gamers put out a Rise and Fall of Dead Rising documentary. I watched actually like 2 days ago.
Nice.
And it is good.
I did forget that.
Yeah, come on, man.
But what I didn't forget is, aside from, of course, Cartridge Club and CC Prime, there's also the sister podcast, Quick Save Club. They just put out the episode for Antichamber, which was the game for June, July, and then August, September game of the months, plural, is Fallout New Vegas, which is an amazing game. So good.
Sweet.
So good. So definitely check those out. You don't have to play the games in Cartridge Club or Quick Save Club to get involved and be a part of the club. Just join in on the conversation. There's lots of folks. Get involved in the communities on Discord, Facebook, or just chat with the people on Twitter. That's kind of the hot spot, Twitter and Discord, and the forums as well.
There's so many spin-offs inside things that are just tied to the Cartridge Club. It's just such a great community.
Yeah, and
we
need more people getting involved because it's one of the coolest communities. It's non-toxic, and it's a community that actually, like, besides just the games and the conversations online, if it's something you're into, besides this year, because of obvious reasons, there's been yearly meetups, like, in various places, strategically in the US and in Canada even.
Yeah, the one in Canada is not close to me.
No.
So yeah,
unfortunately.
I'm gonna have to make that drive, but I'm not making it to meet up with anyone. But I'm doing that 21-hour drive in about a month here. So
do the fly. You gotta fly. Save some time.
I'd rather not.
Flying's okay.
I don't know.
I've done it a few times.
I mean, I know I don't mind actually flying, but during COVID times, I'd rather just drive.
Oh yeah. Definitely not during COVID times. That's just me in general.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on in the club. What's going on with you the next couple weeks? What you gonna be playing?
Hopefully Iron Man VR. If I could stop just finding these side projects.
Yeah.
I've just become a real garage dad. I'm always just out in the garage doing random shit, getting it all set up. It's dialed in. It's basically becoming my game room. My game room. My games will stay in the game room for now. It's basically going to just become the library. And I seem to be able to get a lot more done out here than I can't even get down to the game room. All the time it seems like I only get down there just to do a podcast, and then I'm like, oop, better go upstairs. Been playing more in my living room than in the game room. So, but yeah. Wow. My next big goal is Iron Man, but I'll be playing a bunch of stuff. I've got like little piles of like old school games. I've kind of been realizing a bit of a goal that I've been kind of striving for with the backlog roulette and stuff. That I've been playing a lot more of the old school games that I'm collecting. So
nice.
Actually, I was intending to beat a game last night. Captain Algebra was streaming Gremlins 2, and that's been like the top of my NES list. And I was like, oh my gosh, just bring the NES up to the garage and kick that ass. So maybe that soon too.
Nice.
I don't know. But as far as new stuff, until I get Tsushima, I'm probably just going to be playing VR. I got to catch up on a bunch of VR games. So I'm sure once I, just like when I set up the Genesis or the N64 or the Dreamcast, I'll probably beat Iron Man VR and then just keep going to the slew of other VR games I've been trying to catch up on.
Sweet.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, like I said, I will be finishing up Ghost of Tsushima and then jumping right into The Witcher 3.
Sweet.
And that's probably going to be it for the foreseeable future.
Hell yeah. So if we delay any more for that episode 100, no, it's just because he's playing Witcher 3.
Yeah.
He can't just leave Geralt out in the wild.
And something. And if anybody has made it this far in the podcast,
thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Episode 100 is
goddamn
coming up here real soon. We're gonna try to do something interesting. We're thinking Q&A and live episodes. So
do a live video episode, and we'll kind of take questions from you guys. We might set up some events. So keep an eye on the socials because we'll
definitely post.
And also watch out for the next Game Deflators episode. Because you might know someone on there. If you don't know the Game Deflators already, you should be already listening to them. But
yes.
We had them on a couple episodes ago. Super cool guys, and I'm excited.
Yeah, should be good. So with that said, as we're wrapping things up here, I'm going to let everybody know how they can get a hold of us if they should feel so inclined, which I hope they do. Of course, the podcast is available on SoundCloud and YouTube and podcast apps. So basically, any way you listen to podcasts, you can find us. If you want to get a hold of me, you can go on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and look up The Game Grinder. And for Jason, you can go on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Look up Corpse Flood Gaming.
Do it up.
Hit us up. Let us know your thoughts. And then, yes, keep an eye out for the social medias because we're going to post some links.
Next one's gonna be big.
Yeah, should be fun. So, yeah. Wow. 100. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've been around for a lot of it. So it's cool.
So, yeah. So we'll have some fun things to talk about next time.
Gonna have me some fun.
Gonna have some fun. Such a great
reference. I love
Yes.
that movie. I'm gonna
Good.
go watch Predator right now.
Good way to end the episode. So with that said, thank you very much for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.